Hello, knitting friends. Welcome to the Collette Knits podcast. I am Collette, and I'm coming at you guys from just outside of Toronto on Friday, March the 17th, 2023. And yeah, I'm so happy to be here and share this little couple moments with you guys. So sit down, grab your knitting or a drink, whatever you want. I've got a sparkling water and a coffee here. I'd say they don't go great together. Yeah, so, pick a drink that you think is good. So, knitting. I am not wearing any hand knits today. I was going to, but it's still a little hot, so I didn't. But I did wear my knitted earrings. What? So these are from my friend Maria, who is not a knitter, but she is very supportive of my hobby. And she had these. She got me these one year. They are from her friend who designs jewelry. And she's on Etsy and Instagram. And her tag handle is b.ok.designs on Instagram. BOK Designs on Etsy. I'll link it below. She does handmade jewelry. So I think she does like gemstones and clay. And yeah, these are so cool. They're so fun. And you know what? For being clay, you would think they're really heavy, but they're not. And I don't wear jewelry or earrings that much. And I gotta say, they're not like too big or clunky, even though they're a great size. They don't feel like too much. I like them. They don't touch my shoulders. They don't like hit too far. I really like them. They're really nice. And they're knitting, so it's kind of a cool way to wear your knitting without wearing your knitting if it was like a hot day or you're just like whatever, So that's kind of cool. So these are my earrings by BOK Designs. And I do think, I haven't worn these out, but I think I haven't worn them out yet because they were tucked away with my knitting and I recently found them again. So I haven't worn them out yet, but I think knitters and non-knitters would really like them and it's kind of cool. So that is BOK Designs. So let's get into the real, yarny knitting. Okay, so last time I was on, I showed you guys a couple of finished projects I did over the time that I wasn't podcasting. One of those projects was the 3-color cashmere cowl, patterned by Pohilo Catelli. And this I used some Hey Sister Yarn Co. All the colors in there are from Hey Sister Yarn Co. Now, this pattern, this cowl, could have been done with 3 partial skeins or whatever, or like you could do it with scraps, you could do it with minis, you could do it with whatever you freaking like. Because it's a cowl, fingering weight. So I still have tons of yarn. All these 3 colors I still have tons of. And I could make another cowl, but like reverse the colors a bit. So maybe that's something I'll revisit one day, but maybe I'll do the cowl in other colors. But anyway, I really like all 3 of those colors. And I made I showed you guys these the other day, some jelly roll socks. So these are a gift for my mom. They're so cool. These are by the pattern's by Mara Catherine Bryner. And I think she also goes by Orange Knits. So I'm not too sure, but if you've already gotten this pattern, the Jelly Rolls pattern, if it's in your Ravelry library or in your wherever library, download it because she has, I'm not sure why, taken her patterns off of Ravelry. So they're still there as like a web page, but they're not on Ravelry anymore. And I couldn't find them anywhere else. So I looked at Etsy and everything and I Googled it. I searched hard, far and wide to find you guys where you could get this pattern and I can't find anywhere. So I think if you follow Orange Knits, I think it is, on Instagram, she like posts every once in a while. Maybe she posts the pattern, um, maybe like in a short window, like post the pattern to download or to buy and then download. I'm honestly not sure. I really tried to like figure it out, but I couldn't figure it out. I looked at Reddit, different like blogs and comments, and could not figure it out. So regardless, her patterns are off of Ravelry or not. I couldn't find it. But there are other amazing sock patterns. So in my search, I looked on Etsy for like shorty socks kind of thing and saw some other really cool patterns on Etsy, where Etsy you can just buy the pattern and download it, which is a good, safe place if Ravelry doesn't work for you. So you can't find this sock pattern anywhere I am aware of, but super cool. Little rolled cuff. This is not a like double sock or anything. You pretty much knit one cuff and then knit another. So it's not like extra thick or anything like that. It kind of looks like a little sport sock, so that's cool. It also didn't take me too long, so that was awesome. Shorty socks, that's the way to go. Summer's coming. Shorty socks, scrappy yarn, scrappy shorties. I know everyone already has been doing it, and I'm like just getting into it, but like shorty socks. Obviously my husband wants a pair because like he always wants a pair of socks, and he'll get a pair. My sister liked them, so like I think everybody's getting shorty socks. And the really good thing about shorty socks, guys, Christmas gifts, holiday gifts, birthday gifts, they go so much faster than big socks. So I think that is the thing. This is going to be 2023, year of the shorty sock for me. Shorty socks. I'm doing it. That's not going to help me blast through the stash of yarn that I have, especially the stash of fingering weight. This could help me blast through the scraps. Maybe I'll blast through the scrappy yarn, the leftover yarn. That's what this was. And there's still enough to make like 2 more pairs from this cowl, these socks. It's awesome. I love it. Okay, so that's my finished object. I have another thing that would have maybe been finished, but there was an oops. This was a user error. Guys, I did it. Sat on the needles. So this is that little green, well, it's not little actually, it's huge. The big sock from the yarn from, oh my gosh, I hope I don't butcher the name because I already did last episode. The yarn from ARTISANTHROPY. That might be it, or at least closer to how to pronounce the name. Anyway, it is my LYS here in Whitby. So I did their sock surprise me sock box subscription, and I got this yarn from that. So you get sock yarn or yarn for a pair of socks, and a little extra. So my first box I got from them, I got this green yarn that I have lost the label for. I'm off to an awesome start, I know. So I got this green yarn and these little 12-inch chai goo wooden needles, wooden bamboo. And I like wooden needles. I do like them. They're really nice and easy peasy on my hands. My only problem is I tend to break them. I don't know if it's my Hulk knitting skills or what, but yeah, these ones were a casualty of me sitting my butt on them. So that's okay because more is coming. Call the store. They're getting me some more. So that's great. But in the meantime, so before all that happened, I had finished one sock for my dad. So this is just like a regular sock, vanilla sock, or whatever you want to call it. Simple sock, I don't know what you call it, but I use Collette, who is Crazy Sock Lady. I used her pattern for this. So this is just a big old 72 stitch, top down, 2x2, knit 2, purl 2 on the ribbing for the cuff, knit, knit, knit for the leg, heel flap and gusset, and then foot. These what work best. This is the pattern that works best for my dad. That being said, it's not like I've really branched out to another pattern. I just know that like a heel flap and gusset is a really good fit for most people. So that's what I've done for his socks, and they have worked really well. So, yeah, so I finished this sock. I was all gung-ho to do the other one. Then I sat on my needles. And then while I kind of, looked around, tried to see if I had the similar or same needles in my yarn needle collection. I do have other needles that are 2.25 millimeter, but they're 9-inch, and I did get a super different gauge on this. So I wanted to just stick with the same needles. Luckily, I had other things I could work on, as you'll see. So I ordered the needles. They are arriving at the yarn store any day now, and then I will go get them. But yeah, so these socks will be done soon. We've got a little road trip coming up. We're going to the East Coast. We're driving there to Nova Scotia with a baby. Yay! Okay, so I'll have lots of sock knitting time. Maybe. In the past, when we've done these drives, I've always knit. But I always get really sleepy too. So sometimes I knit and fall asleep. I'm not the driver. My husband drives. But this time we'll have a baby. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll be in the back seat a lot. I'll be entertaining the baby a lot. So that's all good. But I will get some time, obviously, to knit on these. So I'm thinking I'll bring this sock and its new needle on our little road trip. So that's cool. And yeah, but this one's done. And my gauge on this is so different than working with a 9-inch. That's why I wanted to just buy the same needle. Now, the yarn store did call me and say, you could use the Licca, the this, the that. Like, they gave me all these other options. And I said, you know what? Because the needle wasn't in yet. So they called me with like tons of other good options. And I said, they all sound great, but I already have this one done. And you can see how much tighter my stitch gauge is on this, which is with a 9-inch. Oh my God, what am I doing? That's with a 9-inch, and then this is with a 12-inch. And this is just like a tighter fabric. It's like a little more breathy, loose. So I just want to stick with the same thing. And yeah, I have like so many things I can work on in the meantime. It's like, don't even sweat it, guys. I'll just wait for this same needle to come in. So I'm waiting for that and get it next week. So while I was sitting on my knitting needles, breaking them, thinking about, what to knit on, I started this, which is just it's called Knit Diagonal Baby Blanket, and it's by Lion Brand Yarn. And I had bought this yarn a little bit ago, and then I went on Ravelry to look for a pattern, and this came up, and it sent me away to Lion Brand's website, and you just like sign up for their email list or whatever, and then they send you the pattern. I don't really know how it works, but anyway, free pattern, but just like follow the steps to like go to Lion Brand's site. So I wanted a simple-ish, I shouldn't say simple. I wanted a like pattern that wasn't going to take too much brain space, so that I could just work on this anywhere, because realistically that's how I'm going to get it done. If I have to do too much like ribbing and purling and crazy things on a blanket, I'm not going to finish it. I have started and not finished so many blankets. The more challenging they are, the more detail there is, the longer it's going to take me to finish them. So simple for me right now is where I'm at. So this is pretty big. This is already pretty big. It's a baby blanket. And so far I've knit one with one ball of yarn. I'm on my second ball of yarn. Yeah, so this is just a really so soft baby blanket for a friend's baby. Now I'm not sure yet because as I've been knitting on it, this big ball of yarn's been hanging around and I've been knitting on it and my baby's there. When I'm knitting, my baby will go to my bag, which is just like a huge big fabric tote bag. She goes to the bag and pulls this out and like just touches it and loves it. So I'm like, okay, obviously she needs a blanket too. So I have the purple and the pink, and I hope that the colors are coming out okay. But pretty much after I'm done making this pink one, I'm also going to make a purple one. And then, yeah, one of them will be for my baby, one of them will be for my friend's baby. Not sure who gets what yet, but yeah, that's what I'm working on. So the purple version of this blanket will be coming on our road trip. So that's great. So that's some good car knitting right there. I'm envisioning the baby like holding my ball of yarn while I knit, and that might just like keep everybody happy. Yeah, so the yarn is, I've made other baby blankets with this before, but the bigger version. This is Loops and Threads Sweet Snuggle Light. So I've used this yarn before. It's very soft. It's just, it's called, what's the, I don't even know, guys. But I will say, this yarn, if you're a crocheter, makes beautiful crocheted toys. My aunt crocheted a bunny for my baby with this yarn, which I should show sometime, maybe on the next podcast. She used this yarn, and it's beautiful. So for that toy, but I do think one of the things I don't crochet, but I think one of the things about this would be like there's no give the way that there's some give in other yarns. So yeah, but it makes beautiful toys and so soft. So that's super cool. So been working on this blanket, and it's all because I didn't have the needles for this. So when the yarn store Artisan when my local yarn store in Whitby, Artisanthropy, called me to say like they were gonna get the needles in, I was like, guys, I'm good because I've been working on this bad boy. So hasn't taken me that long either. It is just the thing I need right now. So that's cool. So that's kind of it. I still have other things on the needles, but what I've actually been working on is that. And if I have it here, oh yeah, I do. Okay. So I wanted to show you guys this too. When I was sockless for a little bit, I dipped back into the Musselburgh hat. And guys, came to a realization that my gauge is too big for what I want. So I just put it on like a bigger, you know how I said I was going to put it on bigger cable so I could like see the hat? Maybe I would knit on it more last episode. I put it on a bigger cable, and I think the hat is too slouchy for what I want. So I think I'm going to restart this. Okay, now it doesn't look so bad, but I want like a snug hat. And I didn't really do the math properly with this hat. I kind of just went with like what most other people were doing, or what a lot of people were able to get. The gauge that they wanted was with a US size 3 needle. So I went with that. That should have been my first clue to size down because I'm a really loose knitter. So yeah, it's not the fabric I like or that I want for this hat, which is super cool about this pattern. If you guys, I mean, I'm sure everybody's already knit this or talking about it, or it's probably in your queue because you want to make it. This hat, any pattern, any yarn, any gauge, any needle, the whole pattern's there for you. So I'm gonna go back, revisit this hat, because if I can do the smaller needles and get this, the top done, like the cast on and the increases started before or during our little road trip, it will be perfect to just knit on while we're traveling. Pretty much this is the top of the hat. That's how I know it's not the gauge I like, because I put it on my head and I'm like, it's just too loose. So you're knitting this hat from the top down, and then you don't bind off. You knit back up to the top again and do your decreases and bind off, because it's a double layer hat. It's like you then fold the hat in this long tube of a weird hat inside out, and then you have a hat that's kind of, if you're doing like a fingering weight like this one, it would then just be like a nice thicker material because it'd be like double layered. Also, loving this look right now. And do you guys like my stitch marker? That is a little koala stitch marker from Ann Tudor Designs. Now this was from her, like, she did a little launch for the Australian wildfires. So this was from that. So like proceeds from the koala bears went to helping in Australia when they had the wildfires. And I had to get it because koala bears are super cute. So yeah. So this, we're going to be revisiting this. So, you know, eventually I'll have a muscle burrow hat on the needles back again and done. And this yarn is Lizzie Ann Yarns. So that's pretty cool too. Okay, one more thing. Have you guys done... Oh. All the rage right now, and I haven't done them yet. DK weight socks. So, I'm going to do some DK weight socks. This is with Yarn Ink in the colorway Steampunk. This is their 4-ply DK weight yarn that is 75% merino, superwash merino, and 25% nylon. Now, this I hope will work. You want the nylon to help have like a tougher type of sock. Not tougher, but you know, something that's a little harder wearing. My husband wants socks that he can wear in his work boots. And I am hesitant, but I'm going to try it. And I don't think a DK weight sock, I don't know, we'll see. He wants something that he can try to wear in his work boots, but but if it doesn't work, then he'll just wear them around the house. So I'm going to try with the DK weight sock. So this is going to be something I'll start eventually too. I've heard that they are addicting. So I do have a lot of DK, but not nearly as much as I have fingering weight yarn. So the kind of cool thing I've seen people do too is hold 2 fingering weight yarns together to make the thickness of like a DK. So I think that'll be really cool. If I really like these, I will do that. Maybe next time I'll do 2 fingering weights for a DK. 2 fingering weight yarns held together to make like a DK weight. That's kind of cool. So yeah, that is kind of what I'm up to. So what are you guys knitting? Have you guys tried DK weight socks? Is there a pattern that you like? I was looking at Kay Litton's pattern, just called DK weight socks, I think. She's Kay the Crazy Sock Lady. She has a pattern of DK weight, maybe like vanilla socks. I was going to maybe do that one. Yeah, what are you guys knitting? What are your knitting plans? Have you done shorties? Because they're cool. Are you going to have a year of the shorties too? I think that's what I'm going to do, year of the shorties. I like it. I already have like yarn in my head that I'll do for the next set of shorties. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Have you guys ever sat on your knitting needles and broke them? Because I have, and it's not the first time. Yeah, cool. Okay, right below in your comments, subscribe, like, all those things. And check out Be Okay Designs on Etsy and Instagram. And yeah, we'll be back soon. Bye, guys.